How to get yourself back to making music.
Part 1. The past, when things are great.
I'm going to need you to do something. Either stare only at this video or keep your eyes closed and listen. I want you to rewind your mind back to the first song or project that you have ever created. Feel the emotions that you had when you made it. Most of us would feel a sense of, oh dang, that was me? That's tight. That's pretty dope. It was cool, something we never had done before, and we created it. Somewhere along the line, there was some sort of hate or dislike sent your way. Perhaps it was some random person online saying crap about your music, a family member telling you to give up or get a job instead, or maybe you compared it to your favorite artist's song. Either way, you tried to fend it off, but in the end, deep inside, it got to you. It demotivates you, and over time, you find yourself gradually decaying away from creating music. You would find any and every excuse in the book to justify a reason that you don't truly comprehend. And here you are now today, listening to my voice. You can open your eyes now. Chances are, you heard something that put you down.
Part 2. The unintentional corruption.
We should all know that if there is something that we find enjoyment doing, it will make us happy. Even if those enjoyments are not great for our health, the same thing can happen on the flip side though. Perhaps there are things that we hate because we dislike it. I personally, I'm not the biggest fan of seafood, although I do eat it sometimes. I just really hate the smell of it. Tuna in the can, probably my most favorite fish food. That's an example of something that I dislike, but I still would not mind enjoying or eating in this case. Where am I going with this? What will happen to our minds when we enjoy making music and all of a sudden, BAM! Negative remarks and hates come in. It will get into our weak, fragile minds and overtake the positive traits to create it into something that we would end up not feeling so great about. It's like a snowball effect. You feel bad about your music, and because you feel bad, you end up focusing on more bad things about your music. Eventually, it turns into something that you would not like to do because there are more issues and problems associated with it compared to when you were enjoying it. This may make you do random things to get away from it, like yawning, feeling tired, constantly getting up to eat food to substitute that happiness in the form of food. Some people like to smoke weed, almost as if they rely on it to be able to trick themselves into being creative. Worst case scenario, we end up trashing what we were about to do and give up for another few weeks and repeat that same cycle over and over. We're confused as to why this happens, which is the main reason why we lost the will, because we don't know what it is that got us in this position as well as how to get out of it. Otherwise, you'd be out of it already. It's pretty much not knowing the answer to a question of which you also do not know. I'm here to break this chain for you though.
Part 3. Cleansing your cognition.
The question that we need to ask first is this: what is it that's causing me to not make music? The answer comes from thinking rationally about the things that unintentionally changed our cognition towards creating music. In other words, figure out step by step what made us go from enjoying making music to suddenly giving up. And we have to call out those reasons for what they really are. Start back at the beginning. Everything was good until the haters started giving their input, which made you lose your motivation. But this is where we make the grave mistake. We believe that it was the haters that led us to giving up on our music. But if you think rationally about it, who is it in the end that makes the decisions of how you should feel? That's right, you already know it. Yourself. You can have the worst day possible happen to you, but what ultimately makes you feel that way is how you choose to feel about it. It's like when you drop your phone or tablet and the screen cracks. Some people will feel so horrible and angry inside and let it ruin their whole day, week, month, or whatever it may be. Others will look forward to the future without a wink of anger or negative energy, and they will say, okay, there's nothing that could be done to fix what already happened. We just have to figure out what to do next to fix the situation and keep things going. This is what we have to do to condition ourselves to heal ourselves. We have to learn to remove the negative implications by realizing it for what they really are. Just some other person's nonsensical thoughts towards you. Nothing to be worried about. Haters hate because they hate themselves. We often have this roll off of our tongue. What is the first thing that we think about when we hear a troll on the internet? We often believe that they hate their lives, so they spend time trying to hate on other people to feel some sort of balance to make themselves feel better. So, know that hate from people commenting on your music or disliking your videos are people who wish they were in your position. They hate themselves because they are jealous of what you have and wish they were able to have it too. They often believe that people do nothing special to get to where they are now in life, almost like we are privileged to be in the spotlight, or in their eyes. Hate does not equate to negativity at all. Realize that, and you'll clear out a lot of negative energy associated towards creating music. But it's only the first obstacle. The next negativity associated with hate has to deal with our own family sometimes. I'll quickly address it. Just know that suggestions that you get from other people are those of weak-minded and unsuccessful people. The people that usually hate the most are the ones that hate on your opportunity to become somebody successful. People are used to being safe, even if that means to be a slave to society until they're over 65 years old. Nothing wrong about having a job, but if they tell you to give up on your business, that's a whole problem in itself. Best thing to do is to ignore them and either change the conversation or leave. Nothing good comes from arguing with someone who doesn't understand success. Just know that they come from ignorance, whereas you are coming from a place of future success and wisdom. The last point to address this false confirmation bias against your music creation is critique. Understand that they come from the outside perspective of your happiness and creativity. They are thinking about your music and comparing it with people that are not even on your level. They come from a place of self-righteousness rather than from a place of understanding situations. Whenever I give advice or opinions to people that come to me looking for it, that comes with the motive to improve on a person. Those that come to you to critique you, more often than not, come from a perspective where they know what is right with the lack of understanding what growth is and want you to do right too. They can tell you what you should do or shouldn't do, but not how to do it. The best thing you can do is understand that what they say may be true, but you don't need to take their advice as the correct thing to do right now. The best improvement comes from when you decide to improve yourself, not from a third-party source that comes to you. Some people are happy enough that they have clothing on their back. Other people will only be happy when they seek perfection and reach it. Don't be like other people, otherwise you'll never be happy. When it comes to the time where you should be happy, you would forget how to smile. Now that you have the outside negativity sorted out, the final obstacle to jump over is the false wall that you created inside of yourself that's stopping yourself from wanting to create music again.
Part 4. Restoration Point.
Ever heard the story of the elephant who had one leg tied to a string and the string was tied to a stake that he couldn't remove or run away from? And as the elephant became an adult, it did not try to attempt to remove the small stake because it remembered that there was nothing he could have done to remove it from the past. This is how we feel about creating music. We are so used to the idea of not being able to make anything, so why bother? We're simply afraid to try again. Had the elephant realized its true strength, it could have broken free from the stake very easily and ran off. The same way the elephant could have realized its true power is the same way you can realize yours. There was a reason why I told you in the beginning to remember back to your first song or project. You need to listen back to your old music and realize how dope you were, as well as how much fun and happiness you gained from creating the music in the first place. Remember that reward factor that made you want to do more. We do not realize it, but all of these famous rappers or artists that we know were in the same first state that you were in before you gave up. If you don't believe me, listen to Eminem's recent album, and then go listen to his first album, Infinite, or Kendrick Lamar's latest, with Section 80. You would listen to them and think two things. First thing, this sucks. Second thing, this is dope. The third thing that you should be thinking about is how it reflects yourself. We all start from the beginning, and even if what we created sounds like donkey doo-doo, it still sounds dope. And it was you. You can be surprised about how many answers you could find when listening back to your old music. Sometimes we just simply forget how great we actually were. I myself forgot how dope and corny my music used to be like. It was amazing, and I did not want them any other way. What you want to do is to be able to bring yourself back to that position. Envision how great it felt to be at that point in time and restore your mindset back to that happy place. If you were following along with the whole video to this point, you should be ready for the final part.
Part 5. Simply do you again.
We lose our ways when we become defeated at our own mind for connecting the wrong wires in the wrong places. Once you upgrade your mind's firmware and you restore yourself back to the happiness and enjoyment of your creation, you should be able to start again. What should you do to keep yourself in this happy state? Constantly train your mind to understand that outside chatter should not decide your emotions or final judgment unless you are the one seeking for it. If you ever feel like you're stuck with your music and you lack the knowledge, then by all means, read. Nothing comes from those who wait, only for those who take action. If you feel like your songs don't sound in key or right, learn why. Go learn music theory. If your vocals sound like they're bad quality, learn how to make it sound better. And when you do your best to make it sound better with the software plugins, then you should take the step up to hardware or a further upgrade. What you shouldn't do is feel demotivated and give up. You have to learn to love to learn. Stop making excuses for yourselves. Excuses are well-planned out lies, whether intentional or not. A person working a 9-to-5, then coming home tired to do anything totally omits the lunch break in between their work time, or the TV or YouTube videos that they watch when they do come home, or the social media that they log into and waste time on when they wake up. You have time. You just need to find it and allocate it accordingly. Most importantly, you have to love what you do and do what you love. If by any chance you don't feel enjoyment, you have to stop and think about the reason why. Could it be due to a lack of knowledge, lack of creativity, or a time constraint that you have set upon yourself? Think deeply about why, just like how you have in this video and figured out the solution to your problems. And all push come to shove, purposely make some stupid music or random jargon, anything that can show that you can create music again and build yourself up from there. That is how you'll find your will to make music again.